talk about today overcoming dysfunction. We're going to talk about it. We're going to sort of shut it down and put the cap on it on Thursday. So since we've been doing that, I thought it was just apropos to finish appropriate. Yeah, reasonable. I thought it was purposeful to finish this morning for those who don't make it to TNT. Yeah, for those who don't make it, so they know what we're talking about on Thursday night. So maybe it'll incite them to join in. But what I want you to be mindful of and not be deceived is that dysfunctional families is not just a new thing today. Dysfunctional families is not just a new term, a new age thing. Dysfunctional families have been around a long time. Matter of fact, dysfunctional families go all the way back to the first family. The fact of the matter is that here's when it comes down to it, it only takes one dis to funk up things. It only takes one dis to funk things up. All right? Now, the point I want to make to you is, don't you be the dis that funks up your family. All right? Yeah, man. Yeah. Pastor said just that. Yeah, don't you be the dis that funks up your family. Don't you be that one, because it only takes one. Romans 5:12 says this: therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man. Sin entered the world through one man. Everything that you deal with today is caused by one person. One person messed it up for all of it. I heard people talk about when they get to heaven, they're going to go and do things to Adam. No, you're not going to be worried about that. But I want you to know that what you're dealing with today is because of one man, and death came in. There was no death prior to Adam messing up. Sin came in through one man, and through that one man, through his sin, death came in. And in this way, death came to everybody. So because he sinned, we all sin. That don't give us an excuse to go on. It's just helping you to understand, because I'm a firm believer. We need to know why we do this. So in other words, it only takes one. When I was in corporate America, when we'd go off on our corporate trips, there would always be somebody that act like they never been anywhere, didn't have home training. And we'd always, when we'd have that last meeting before we go to the convention, they say, listen, don't be that one. That was always the final words before they would conclude the meeting. Don't be that one. And guess what? Every year, somebody would come back and get fired. Somebody drink a little bit too much, and then, they call it liquid courage. So they drink a little bit too much, and they that thing that's down on the inside, because what does the Bible say? What a man thinketh in his heart, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So liquid courage tends to go down in you, and it will push some things up out of you. And so that person would go on the convention and tell his boss what he really thinks about him. Then when he got back, he no longer had a boss, because he no longer had a job. So the point is that your choices and your decisions affect other people. Your choices and your decisions influence other people. And quite often we don't understand. We don't even know how many generations there are from Adam to now. We don't even know. We know there were like 40 from Abraham, but we don't know from Adam. But from Adam to, what is the day? March 5th, 2023, his actions are affecting us today. And so understand, our actions will affect. We tell people on a daily basis the actions that we took affect, we know, at least 3 generations. Us, our children, and our grandchildren. We see the effects that the decisions that we made have on our families, on our children. So stand with me. We're going to read the word. We're going to read the word. We're going to start in Genesis 3 today. We're going to start with a very, very familiar passage of Scripture. You know it. should be familiar with it. Genesis 3:1. Genesis 3:1. And it says this, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the tree of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, ye shall not eat it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat. Today we're going to talk about God's function in the dysfunction. God's function in the dysfunction. You may be seated. You may be seated. You may be seated. So I want to give you a few points today. I'm going to hit you pretty quick, and we're going to move on. But I want to give you a few points to be mindful of, because we do have an adversary that's talking to us constantly. And so I want to give you a few points, and we're going to start off at Genesis 3:1, where he said, and he said, and he said. Who is he? The serpent is talking. He said unto the woman, yea, hath God said. So the first thing is that he tries to do, and he hasn't stopped since the very beginning of time, getting you to question what God says. And I tell people, if he questions Jesus, if he approached Jesus, what make you think he's not going to approach you? And question, get you to try to question what God said. He went to the Son of God, who God personified. So what makes you think he's not going to come to you? And so he went to Eve, right? He went to Eve, and he said, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Let me give you point one. First, keep the outsider outside. That's point one. Keep the outsider outside. Because see, here's the thing. You got to be mindful of who you're listening to, who you're talking to, what you're allowing into you. Because he started a conversation, and you meet people at the store, and they want to come to you. You ever been in the store? My wife and I, we were on the base over in Fort Worth the other day, and I saw this lady. You know how they had a person in the store that's selling stuff, right? And she was the phone lady, and I tried to avoid her. I would go around all the other aisles trying to avoid her, because I used to be in sales, but I'm not really a salesperson. I'm a relationship. And I knew it was only a matter of time. And she had it down. She came and complimented Michelle on her glasses. Oh, those glasses are so nice. They're so cute. And what phone plan are you on? There you go. Right? And so trying to engage in a conversation. We tell you all the time, you prepare for battle when? You prepare for battle, so it's like I already got my deal down. No, ma'am, I already have. I don't even pay for my own. My company pays for my phone. You can't beat that. So you can't beat something that I don't pay for. You can't give me a better plan, right? But Eve wasn't ready when the salesperson showed up. You got to be ready. When they call your house, hello, I got the new warranty plan. You got to be ready. I got a ready conversation. Let me give y'all a way to, when somebody call your house, let me help you out. When they call your house, and the same person been calling, you see, when they ring, they say, hello, Miss Smith. Hi, do you like hamburger? They say, hello, Miss Smith. I like hamburger. And you get a real long pause. And normally they'll try one more time. I like cheese on my hamburger. Guess what? Click. I'm just saying, that's what I do. I'm not, hey. But anyway, you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. What the problem was, Eve didn't have a plan. Eve wasn't ready. And so she engaged in a whole conversation. She engaged with had a whole conversation. You got to be mindful when outside voices, outside people outside of your relationship, people outside of the voice of God, people that come to you with things that are outside what you stand for. You have to be prepared. So you have to be prepared. You have to be ready to dismiss them, to release them, to say, you know what, bye, Felicia, and be done. Quite often we're not ready, because here's the thing: reasonings and discussions and new laws and all kind of man-made ideas are going to constantly be fed to you. They're going to constantly be fed to you. They're going to be spoken, and these things, a lot of this stuff is totally against the will of God. But and here's our problem. Here's why a lot of us don't want to tell them bye, Felicia, because a lot of it is sort of like what I'm interested in. I'm sorry, it's like, hey, you know what? That sort of interests me. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Tell me more. And, and so we start to get, we know it goes against our convictions. We know it goes against who we are, but yet that interests me. And that's what happened. That's how, they say you play with fire, you'll get burned. You lay down with dogs. Yeah. So the same, some of us, we like fleas. I'm just saying. Some of us like, so here's the deal. Here, let me give you an example. God told him, don't, of the tree that's in the midst of the garden, do not eat. Let's just say we have 400 chairs in here. And I say, listen, come on in. You're welcome in. You're welcome in. But please, of the 400 chairs, I'm going to ask you, please do not sit in chair number 37. It's marked. Chair number 37. For some of y'all, right then, why I can't sit in 37? What's so good about 37? Now, some of y'all walk in and you look for your certain spot that you sit in every Sunday, almost daring somebody to sit in your spot on that Sunday. But now that 37 has been put off limits, I want to see what 37 is about. And don't let somebody come in and say, yeah, Pastor trying to hold something back from you off 37. There's some special things in 37. Now, again, you never thought of 37 before. Now, all of a sudden, I got to see what is up with 37. There's something got to be up. I got the entire church. Sit up here, sit over there, sit in the back, sit out in the foyer. No, I want 37 now. That's the way we are. And the enemy knew that, and so he enticed her. We got to be mindful of who we listen to. You have to prepare. You know what? I don't need that. I got 399 other chairs to sit in. Why would I have to go and sit in that one? You have to make up your mind that you're just not going to go against things. See, some of us, we just set that way, listening to voices outside. Man, got to be careful. My son one time came home and told me about how another family were running their house and what their parents did. He did that once. Because, see, here's the thing. I love you, son, and can I invite you to go live with them? If you like their rules, then you go ahead and live with them, and it's going to be all right. You see what I'm saying? So, but here, as for me and my house, up in here, the White House, right? That's what we call it, Cedric White. So this is Cedric White's house. This is the White House in Prosper. As for me and my house, these are the rules up in here. And if you want to partake of what's in the White House in Prosper, you got to go by these rules. Otherwise, you go ahead over there to whoever, Jamie, whoever, you go ahead over there. But you got to be mindful. Know your values. Know your beliefs. Know why you believe a certain thing. Don't just go along with things. So let's go to number 2. What was point number 1? Keep the outsiders outside. Let's go. Jump down to Genesis 3, verse 6. It says this, and when the woman saw, can we stop right there? The woman saw. This is like when you go to Walmart. You going to Walmart to get something. A screwdriver, a broom, house and ever. Before you get to the screwdriver and the broom, why you got a buggy when you went to get a screwdriver? Why did you go? Why did you? Why? She saw that the tree was good. She saw that the tree was good, and it was to be desired. They put stuff, don't you not know that the grocery stores are laid out in a way? They say stay out of the center of the grocery store. Go around the edges. That's what they say. They say, matter of fact, a health nutritionist will say, go in the store and go to the left. Don't go to the right, and definitely don't go down the center where the ice cream and the candy and the chips and the soda. Not that I know where that stuff is. I'm just assuming. But she saw that it was good, and it says she took the fruit and did eat and then gave it to her husband. What's point number 2? Dysfunction comes from disobedience. Dysfunction comes from disobedience. And see, a lot of us don't like to be told what to do, but from the very beginning of time, God said, you can have the entire world. I've given you all of this. Go and take dominion over all of it. There's only one thing that I want you to stay away from. Dysfunction comes from disobedience. Listen, I say this all the time. I tell you, think about what you're thinking about. Anything that you're dwelling on, anything that you're thinking about, think about, why am I thinking about that? Why am I dwelling on that? Think about what you're thinking about. Listen to what you're listening to. Some of the music that you know, it's jamming, it's slamming, but those words that are coming, they do affect you. Yeah. And then watch what you're looking at. All right? Think about what you're thinking about. Listen to what you're listening to, and watch what you're looking at. So you got to be mindful. Here's the deal. I'm teaching a men's class the other week, and the men started talking about temptation. They started talking about pajama pants. Not pajama. What are the ones that women work out in? Yoga, yeah, yoga pants. Yoga. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, yoga. They talk about women out in public in yoga pants. And they start to get real descriptive about, saying, man, some of them you can see through, and some of them, you know, they're thin, and you. I say, listen, brother. If the sister just came from yoga or working out or that's just what she wanted to put on, it's not her job to make you stop looking. Now, granted, I'm not saying you don't see her. You're not blind, because I don't walk around like this, look like a big dodo walking into stuff. No, you see it, and then look away. But again, you prepare for, in a time of, I have to have my mind made up that woo, dude, let me text matter of fact, let me sneak a picture. Man, I'm just saying, I have to have my mind made up. Watch what you're looking at. Because this is the way, my eye gate, my ear gate, those go into my soul. And what I'm allowing in, what I'm taking in is what's going to affect me. All right? So God put boundaries in place for a reason. Parents say no for reasons. Boundaries are there for our protection, not that he don't want us to have fun. He gave us the whole world. He created oceans and mountains and dolphins and dogs and cats and whatever you like. You know, it's all of it, all of that. But you got to have the one thing that you can't. You're not, C37? Disobedience causes problems, and it leads to worse consequences. Disobedience is what causes, disobedience causes us issues. I don't know what I just did. Computers. All right, so we got to be mindful of that. All right, so that's number 2. I'm gonna move right along. There's one more thing on that one. Don't be a crowd pleaser. Don't be a crowd pleaser. See, here's the problem I have in that situation. Now, Eve talking to this cat. Eve's talking to him, right? But Adam was right there. So why didn't Adam step up? Say, hey, dog. Say, partner. Joker, whoever, no. And baby, that's enough of that. Now, I know we're in 2023. How you going to tell me who I can talk to? I can talk to whoever I want to talk to. I ain't saying. When I'm trying to protect you, maybe even protect us, you might want to let me. That's my job. My job as a man is to make sure you're all right. Never to leave you uncovered. Never to leave you in a position where somebody can damage you. As well as never leave you in a position where somebody can damage you and then you cause us damage. Because what did I say, right? Disobedience causes, and that's what happened. So instead of Adam stepping up, he went along with it. It said she took the fruit. She took the fruit. She ate. And then here you go, baby, this is good. It's good in a mug. Try it out. Baby, try. Instead of him saying, wait a minute, God told us, no, baby. Because, see, we don't even know if there would have been repercussions had Adam not eaten. Because the word, I just told you, the word said it came in through one man, Adam. Now, she sinned, but we don't know what the repercussions would have been because, Adam, I told you first. See, that's the issue when I, as a man, if I don't step up and do what I'm supposed to do, then I have a hard time holding you responsible. I need to step. Again, dysfunction there. God put a hierarchy in place. And what I'm seeing in 2023, what we've been seeing for years, is that men aren't stepping up into their role as a man. And you know what? You might not like when I say no. You might not like it. But still, if I know my role and I know who I am, then I'm going to stand on the side of righteousness, and it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. So that's number two. Number three, go to verse 7. Verse 7 says, then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized that they were naked, so they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Number 3, the cover-up never works. The cover-up never works. I can try to hide it as you cannot cover up your sins from God. See, here's the deal. There's a level of innocence that, I'm looking at this baby right here. There's a level of innocence that he has until he starts to learn some things, and then he'll learn he'll learn to lie when he knows he's done something that he shouldn't have. They were as innocent as children until they got out of line, and then they learned to lie. I've seen on YouTube where babies got chocolate and everything all over their face, and the mama asked the baby, did you go in that chocolate? No. Guilty as all get out, right? They try to cover up. Most have a hard time covering up. Even when they're trying to lie, most people have a hard time really covering up themselves. And I hear you. Hey, Pastor, you don't know me. I'm so good. You don't know. I hide real good. I can tell you something, and you don't know. Here, can I make a public service announcement? I don't care. It's not about what you tell me, the lies you tell. It's not about that. You cannot cover up what you're doing. God sees it all. And they hid themselves. They hid themselves trying to cover up from God. Proverbs 28:13, write this down. We won't go there, but Proverbs 28:13 says, whoever conceals their sin does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Right? If I'm trying to hide, right, that's like carrying a load of stuff, a burden on me that I shouldn't have to carry. When I'm trying to duck, that's not what it's about. And the Bible tells us, you know what? If I confess it, then I'll find mercy. Because we can get over a thing. If Michelle, you know what, baby, I've been spending some money. I know I told you that I've been saving it, but I've been, buying some parts for my motorcycle. Now, she probably not going to be very happy because we got a budget and I've broken the budget, but she's even less happy if we get about $10,000, $15,000 down the road and she finds it out on her own. The sooner I can let her know, baby, this is what's going on, the quicker we can start to heal. And that's not just husband and wife, that's any situation, that's anybody. That's any situation. That's any situation. Let me move on. Let me move on to number four. Number four, Genesis 3:8 says this. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid. Can I stop right there? And they hid. Number four, no peekaboo with God. Don't play peekaboo with God. Then they hid from God among the trees in the garden, but God called to him. Psalms 139:7 says this, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, and if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will be there. I cannot get away. I can't hide. I can't cover it up. God knows. Now, here's the problem that we have. Here's the problem that we have. Because quite often he'll let us go for a while, and we don't get any consequences. There is consequences for sin. I don't care. Right? You may not. It may not be right now. It's sort of like planting a seed in the ground. Eventually, it's going to pop up. And the longer we go without pulling it out, without picking the weed, the worse is going to come. But because normally what happens, if this one, you know what, I give the example all the time. If you till up the ground, and you don't plant anything, does it just stay tilled up and nothing comes? No, weeds come up. Now the question is, who comes and plants the weeds? Do you go out and, no. They just have a habit of coming up. And if we're not tilling, if we're not tending to, we're made of dirt. This is ground. If we're not tending to this ground, weeds will grow. Just those things. He said, we read on Thursday night, that all of this stuff, adultery, malice, lying, contrariness, all of this is already in us. And if we don't tend to it, it's going to grow. It's going to come out. We have to be mindful of tilling this soil right here. God asked him, said, where are you? Anytime God asks you a question, please know, he's not asking you a question for him because he doesn't know. He's asking a question for two reasons. Number one, to see if you know the answer. Number two, to see if you know the condition. What had happened with Adam and Eve? Adam and Eve had gotten out of the covering of God. And more or less the question that he was asking is, do you know what you've done? Do you know where you are now? You have come from under the perfect environment that I've put you in. Now you've come out. Now you're hiding. Now you're trying to cover up. You didn't have to cover. You didn't even know that you had stuff that needed to be covered before you messed up. Now, why are you trying to cover up now? You weren't covering up before. You were good. Buck naked in the garden. It's all good. Now I got to cover up. Why? Because now the guilt has come in. And he said, you don't understand where you've moved. You've moved from my covering. I had you. You were in covenant with me. We had an agreement. And as long as you went along with that agreement, you can have the entire world. Think about it. Think about this. I got all of this. Why do I need to go and mess with number 37? I'm just saying that's. But each one of us, we have that area in our life where the enemy is going to tempt you. It doesn't have to be with another person. It could be with a car that your neighbor has, a house that your neighbor has, a vacation that somebody went on, hair. They got hair like this. It could be anything. It could be anything. But what he's saying is, where are you? Where are you? Baby, do you know how you've messed up? Do you know the level of dysfunction? Do you know what you brought on the entire world? You have no clue. My point there is every one of our actions has consequence. My kids, they hated that word when they were growing up. Because I always told them, you'll never be able to say that you don't know what's expected of you, and you'll never be able to say that you don't know the consequence of your action, because I've warned you up front. God told him, what did he say? If you eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge, then you will surely. He told them what the consequence was. But if we listen to outsiders are going to try to make a picture prettier than what it is. And I tell people all the time, you don't know what's going on in people's house. You don't know what's going on really in people's lives. They'll try to make it look like it's better. Sometimes I come in here and I can't let y'all know, ooh, I'm tired. Woo, I did not want to get out of bed this morning. I'm just saying. We could have ran a rerun today, Jack, and I'd have been okay with it. But if I'm supposed to be the shepherd, if I'm supposed to be the leader, and that's my, then what can I say to you when you've got responsibilities? Nothing. You see what I'm saying? It's not always easy. Having responsibility is not always easy. My biggest problem, let me move on to point 5. One of the biggest problems, when God asked him, where are you? He answered, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid. I was naked, so I hid. And God asked a couple of questions. Who told you? Who told you you were naked? Somebody told you. Who you been talking to make you aware, and why is it a problem now? You see what I'm saying? It wasn't a problem. You're the same you're in the same physical condition that you was a moment ago, but now you got a problem with the position that you're in. See, don't miss this. You've been good with what you had until you saw what somebody else had. One of the maddest times I've ever been with my wife is when the week that we moved into our house in Frisco. I was so proud of that little house that we moved into in Frisco. I never, first of all, where I came from, never saw myself in a house like that. Never saw myself. So we were bringing some stuff to the house early morning. I never forget. And we hadn't been there a week. Hadn't been in the house for a week. We're driving by, and Michelle say, the next house we get. I'm like, what did you just say? The next house? Our bed is not even together in this house. And you're looking at the next house. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, looking at other, watch what you're looking at. Watch what you're looking at. I know we prayed to get the house, and we prayed when we got in the house, but I don't think we had just really given testimony of the happiness and the blessing to be in that house. Because I ain't never lived in a house like that, in a place like that. And she's looking at the next house. I was on swole. I'm just saying. No. Looking when she saw that the fruit when she saw that the fruit. So again, my point is, as we heard to a close, God asked, who told you you was naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from? Now, again, did God know? Of course he did. I'm checking your heart. I'm checking your ability. Are you going to come clean with me? That's the question, right? Then, what did he say? They start, number 5, the blame game. Last one, the blame game. They started playing the blame game. The woman that you gave me. She gave me the fruit, and I did eat. I searched the scriptures. I checked with theologians. What I didn't see is where it said Eve took the fruit and smushed it in his mouth. It didn't say that. He said, she gave it to me. So now, what do I do? Again, choice. Here's the bottom line. When it comes to dysfunction, we have a choice. Regardless as to what great granddaddy in the cotton fields and what granddaddy and what daddy did becomes irrelevant when I make a choice. Adam was at a point of choice when Eve gave him the fruit. there was a choice. I can stop this right here. And baby, you shouldn't have even picked it because you said, the Bible didn't say that God said you couldn't touch it, but you said it. So then that means you knew not to. Right? Some things we don't even need to touch. Just stay away from it. Don't go to the party. Don't go to the don't answer the email. Don't take the call. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to make that decision for ourselves. I've had to do it. You know what? Bruh, come go with me. Right? Because you can't take nothing from me. I have to make a choice. Women, can I say this to you? I have to say it. You can get mad at me, send me an email, whatever. Know that you have power. Know that you have power. Know that you influence us. Know that. You can influence us for good, and you can influence us for bad. Eve knew. That's the one thing. We can't say that Eve didn't know because she quoted some stuff to the serpent. So she knew. You know. Sometimes you know. You be smiling. Can I be real? Can I be real? And I'm not saying don't smile because I have to tell some sisters, please smile. You need to smile. But some of us know why we're smiling. I'm just keeping it real. God said it is not good for men to be alone. I'm going to give you somebody to smile at you. I'm just not giving you everybody to smile at you. I'm just not giving you, I'm going to give you somebody, but you don't get everybody. Again, C37. All right. So be mindful that you have power, and a lot of women will take that and they'll use that, right? And we have to be mindful of that. Know yourself. Know your purpose. Know who you are. I gave you 5. Did I not give you 5? Okay. All right. Well, hey, what's number 1? What's number 2? What's number 3? What's number 4? And what's number 5? The blame game. Don't play the blame game. And that's what they did. That's what they did. Adam blamed Eve. Matter of fact, Adam didn't just blame Eve. Adam had the audacity to blame God too. Say, this woman that you gave me, listen, I was by myself naming animals, man. And you brought Eve. So, bruh, this was your fault. I love God didn't even address it. It's like, you know what? Again, I know your heart. I know your heart. I'm not even going to fool with that foolishness. He went right to the woman. Woman, what have you done? And what did she do? She played the blame game. Well, the serpent beguiled me. He fooled me. No, baby. You told him way too much about what you knew. And then you accepted the lie. What do I always say? A lie is as strong as the truth if you believe it. A lie is as strong as the truth if you believe it. Women, I need you to know the power that you have. And then my issue with men, I need men to stand up. We're trying to get more men in here. Now, we know that the population, there's more women than men, but I need men. We need men to stand up and be men, right? I see today more men throwing hissy fits than I do women. I see more. Where you get a hissy from? You weren't born. You weren't born with a hissy. Why are you doing hissy fits? Adam stood right there and watched his wife get into trouble and did nothing. We have to stand up as men. We have to stand up as men. I'm doing this men's ministry right now. It's called Men in Battle. Men in Battle, where we talk about men stuff. I tell them, I say, listen, this ain't your daddy's Bible study. This ain't your granddaddy's Bible study, because we're going to talk about real men stuff. What real men, them yoga pants, not the pajama pants, but pajama pants too, depending on the guy. Yeah, but yoga pants. Let's talk about that. Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? That's not your business. See what I'm saying? So here's the deal. As Adams, we need to stop the dysfunctionary actions, because there's consequences for what I do. I have to understand everywhere I go. I call it commitment. I told my wife, baby, I'm committed to you. That means that wherever I am, you could be 1,000 miles away. It's as if you were right there. I told y'all passed a lie sometime. Didn't I tell y'all that? I've lied on my wife before. Oh, yeah, I've lied on my wife. I had a lady tell me, ooh, I just love that cologne. That cologne is sexy. So you know what? That's my wife's favorite cologne. Lord forgive me, but that's my wife's favorite cologne. She bought me that cologne. So thank you. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell her that you like, because that means that she bought a good cologne, because you like the cologne that she bought me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. I had to ask for forgiveness for that. But you know what? I'm preparing. Because I know what I got at home, Jack. And I'm trying to stop funking up things before they get funked up. I'm trying to stop. Try to stop it before it gets started. See, and here's the thing. Let me close with this. God can function even with the dysfunction. Here's the thing I love about it. Even before Adam and Eve messed up, he knew they were going to mess up. Now, a lot of people ask, well, if God knew, why didn't he? Man, ask God when you see him. Ask in your prayer time. Ask him. I'm not going to try to come and answer God questions, because I am not God. Let's start there. But what I can say is that God has an answer, and he said there is no temptation that's coming to man that he will not provide of escape. There's nothing that you're going to be tempted with that he doesn't say, you know what, all you have to do is make a choice to do something different. Jesus made choices, right? Every time the enemy brought something to him, say, turn this bread, these rocks into bread. He said, it is written. If we arm ourselves with the word, then we're ready when the enemy comes. But we have to arm ourselves. We have to be prepared. We have to be prepared. Choices. Decide not to carry on. Okay, I know I saw daddy do this. Or also here, I didn't have a daddy. Okay, that's cool. If you don't know, ask somebody who has the same boundaries that you want to have. Maybe you're having problems with it, but ask somebody, talk to somebody, because there are people out there. If you have a mentor, I call it an accountability partner. Get somebody you can't go get somebody and be accountable, and they're worse than you are. My partner, I can't be accountable to him, and he hanging out at the nudie bar. I'm going to meet with my accountability partner. No. But somebody who has some ethics, the same ethics I see in them, some things that I want. Man, I like who you are. I like what you do. I see the accomplishments that you have. And I'm not trying to be you, but I'm trying to get some of the things that you have in you. Can I talk to you about it? Can I ask you some questions about it? Do you really deal with this? And if a man is real, he's going to tell you, yes, I deal with the same exact things that you deal with. And here's what I do about it. Have you ever messed up? Oh, well, yeah, I have messed up before. And here's what I did about it. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes if we really want the answer, then we look for the answer. We do more of what we want than we do what we need to as a human being. We do that. We do more of what we want to do. So if you really want it, then you go after it. Because we go after what we want. So take the funk out of your dysfunction. Because God operates and makes things functional. He can correct everything that's going on. He can fix it, and you'll look back and it's like, wow, I don't believe what I was about to do. I don't believe what I was doing. But look at where we are now. Look at where I am now. Look at where I am now.